the announcement of like the official announcement. Although that's rumored, right? Like there are two things that can happen. I think there's like a 15% chance the merger doesn't get announced, and then things can evaporate. Like 60% will be gone. Pretty fast. Keep that in mind too. But if it does happen, who knows how much is priced in? A lot of people think there could be some really nice upside. Obviously, we will see. But that's overall a company too. I'm not trading CCIV. I'm not in that one to try to swing it, especially if it pops on a merger. I'll have way too many gains, and I hate paying taxes. But don't get me wrong, I took some profits obviously yesterday on the swing on OccuGen, but I went into it with that strategy, and that's something I talk to course members about regularly, even in our live streams or in our lectures, is that you got to go into a stock with a strategy, because if you go in to something like, oh yeah, I'm gonna diamond hand this, and then it turns 650. That was our first level. We did have some orders down here at 36. We're waiting to see if 36 can break. So we did take a little bit out. I do have some more high side there. Pound here can be spicy, Neil, as you know.
Yeah, and just as fast as that, like 2 seconds ago, you heard me say I like this area right here in HTBX. I just want to locate just like that. Already got them. So, able to get some shares. I'm not going to chase it too far, but I had to pay down to 68. The 1550 is going to be the top I'm playing off of. I'd much rather be adding between 15 and 25 or so if I'm going to get a bigger position on this HTBX. The first trade here to the short side.
Yep. Okay, so I'm also looking there. CGC, it's doing that little dance that I don't really like there. So we did take support out there at 40.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trading session. Hopefully, you guys are having a freaking awesome day. Starting the session a little bit late. It is what it is. So, looking at the Nasdaq right now, we're literally making a high right now, which is kind of something that I wasn't really, I guess. I mean, when I'm looking at the Nasdaq, I mean, you can never be sure what it actually is gonna do. But I was kind of expecting maybe a sell-off today. But I mean, it makes sense right now. I actually didn't see this right now that it hit the 200 EMA, so it just hit the 200 EMA and went up. So yeah, that makes total sense. So we could see a rejection off top and then a sell-off. So I'm actually looking for shorts today on the Nasdaq 100. So we shall see what we do here today. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. Like I said again. Kind of a busy kind of morning. Started session late, so it is what it is. So I'm not really 100% in my mode yet, so I'm not gonna go in and rush anything in the market open, just because again that's not how I operate. So yeah, Nasdaq 100 still making high. So I'm gonna be looking for shorts personally. So looking at the Russell 2000, we're seeing kind of a ranging kind of day, as you can see here. So we should see what we do here. I'm actually not trying to see if I don't know. We could look for buys. I could eventually on the end of the day or in the middle of the day I could see it as a buying opportunity. But right now, I think it's a little bit choppy. It may eventually come up for the rest of the day. But again, I really want to just be careful with the Russell 2000 whenever it's making such a massive move like it did yesterday. It wasn't, I guess, massive, but I mean, like it was a huge day, almost 3% for the Russell. So I'm just gonna be careful with the Russell, and I know that eventually, when it comes up, it's gonna start consolidating, and then eventually maybe come down or up, either whatever it wants to do. So we should see what we do there. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. We're looking at a few forex pairs today, specifically your USD JPY. I actually like USD JPY a lot, and if you guys were literally in my streams yesterday, you guys would know that I took a trade on USD JPY. So it was an actually like a freaking phenomenal trade. I was trading it. I guess I wasn't trading it, but I guess I was managing it during the night last night. And again, it was just an awesome trade. So let me go ahead and show you guys real quick and show you guys the trade frame. So that is USD JPY. Such a freaking an amazing trade. You can see there that I took it on the 1 hour chart. So yeah, again, it's just amazing trade. So I'm really happy about that. Just giving us a really good kind of a breakout off the top. So we were coming off the top. We had a really good bull run off the break of the 50 on the 1 daily chart. And so we came up, and eventually what comes up must come down. So it finally came down on the day. So that's exactly what it did. So I took it short on the breakout toward the downside. So it was off a significant EMA on the daily chart. So if you just scroll up to the daily chart, you can see that it was bouncing clearly off the 200 EMA right over here. So yeah, I mean, it was an awesome trade. Like I said again, I'm really happy about it. And yeah, we're just gonna manage it. I think it's gonna come eventually down to the 200 EMA. So we should see exactly what it's gonna do. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that bounce off that 200 EMA. Like, I mean, come on. This is part of my edge. This is part of the systems that I trade, my scalping system, particularly, scalping. Like, just trading it off universal levels and levels in particular. So, we'll see what we do here. We're bouncing off a 2-hour 200 EMA right over here. So, my target will be off the 100 EMA or the 1 hour. Go to the 1 hour 800 EMA, which is the take profit is right over here, right? So but I already closed about 60%, around 62, almost 70% of my profits. So I'm actually chilling. I have my lock stop into profit, so I cannot again lose on a trade, and I'll be stopped out in profit. So all is good for that specific trade. Looking at the Russell, I mean the Nasdaq, we're just falling off right now again. Very interesting seeing what we do here. This could be a sell-off right over here. I would take this as a sell-off, to be honest, because I wouldn't take this on my day trading account though. I would wait for the break of the 200 EMA before I took it on my day trading account. But I will scalp that to the short side. I will do that. I'm gonna watch this real quick. Okay, so where was I at? What was I talking about? Okay, so 2000 Russell 2000 is coming back down. So I would literally freaking buy it. Like, I would buy it at this level, bro. Like, this is such a really good level to buy it off from. So I would literally just buy it and hold it if I really want to. But that's not how I operate. I use systems for my trading. But I mean, like, it's just like the Russell has been going up literally for so much time that it literally it just kind of I just lost my wording, but it kind of just respects those levels really, really much, especially on higher time frames. So those are levels that you have to definitely look out for. Okay, where was my USDJPY thing? UJ, where are you? I don't know where my UJ went. Alright. That's strange. It just disappeared. Come on, UJ. I was gonna show everyone the 1 minute time frame. That's unfortunate. Did I exit the tab out? Jargon, Kraken, was that it? Nope. Nope. Dude, where's my freaking UJ tab? How does it disappear? Oh well. That's unfortunate. Huh. I guess I just exit out of the tab. That's pretty dumb. Oh, that's so unfortunate. All my drawings like erased. That's so annoying whenever TradingView does that, where it literally just erases all your drawings. It's so annoying. Oh man. I'm gonna go ahead and have to redo that. But anyway, so yeah, we're in profit on UJ. UJ's coming back down. Looks like the Nasdaq's trying to come back higher right now, so we'll see what we do here. I don't know. I'm less inclined on taking it long just because of this range that I'm seeing right over here. So for me, I'm less inclined on taking it long, to be honest. I don't like how the liquid 50 is at right now. It's in the sell zone, so that's telling me that it's gonna be choppy whenever it's trying to make a new high. So for me, again, I'm not gonna go ahead and try taking that. It's not my cup of tea. Bro, where's my UJ's tab? Come on. Jargon.
Look at the board. You can see the board at the bottom where we're long on Palantir. Bang, bang, bang. Right now to the day's high. Get some more out right there. CGC. I mean, to say that we called this.
It looks like Nasdaq is trying to come back higher. Interesting. So it's trying to break off the high right now. We're seeing that fully big bounce off that. I could have taken this as an entry, but I'm not about that. If it goes against our direction, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get FOMO about it because you know, I know my trades, so I know how these kind of, I guess, trades operate. So I'm not really gonna be getting FOMO about it. Man, I'm pissed off because of the stupid UJ thing. It annoys me whenever like I have like my drawings just erased. Man, yeah, it annoys the crap out of me. Let me just go ahead and take the entry. I mean, do the thing real quick. Done.
You guys knew what was going to happen at some point. We'll go with this one because Sean calls the Wiz, so we'll go with the Wiz on that. Why not? I'm just going to roll with the little punches there. This did not break 150. I apologize. There were some sharp prints.
It looks like the Rosso's trying to come back up right now. All right, let's see what we do here in the Nasdaq. Yeah, so it looks like we're trying to bounce off that, so we'll see. It makes sense if it's going to bounce.
I like that rinse and repeat talk, guys. So what that we're meaning by that is let's just keep doing this until it stops working for us. I think that's what we're going to continue to do all day, every day.
Which should I take my entry? 105, 343.
I did like that one to the high side, so we did clean out of some of, we did get out of some of that one right now. Palantir to the high side, 37. We're very, very light, less than 10% of that stock still on board here. So that's Palantir. Neo, I got a little jiggy with it and got some out there at 60. So we'll wait to see if that's going to be the right play or not. Still pretty light on Neo, but CGC, man, I just wish I would have gotten a little more confidence. I mean, I had a lot of confidence in this play, but even more would have been nice because we still did that break. And then I got out. That's still me getting out here is part of this, and now we hold 46, 40, and now we're getting ready to get out because it looks like it's a little overexhausted here on the high side. But we're
Interesting. So looks like it is trying to bounce. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing the time in cells right now. Very, very interesting. All right, so I finally got the UJ thing. I'm gonna do some markups about UJ and post it in my course chat for the people who in my course. as well as my I got a bunch of markups that I want to post as well. But anyway, so this is UJ. Like I said again, I took it on the 1 hour time frame, but that was the signal right there. And it went all the way up to around 3.4 R now. So I mean, again, such a really good trade, and it's just coming from this significant level right over here. Like I knew that bouncing off this significant level where literally like we haven't even hit it since last year, which was actually, yeah, 5th of June 2020. So around the coronavirus section. So I mean, it's been a long time. So I knew that we were gonna see kind of a considerable rejection, because we've always seen a rejection from the past. Whenever we hit that, and whenever we saw this unambiguous move toward the upside, I mean, it just made sense for me that it was going to bounce down whenever we were seeing weakness. We were seeing weakness right over here. It's not like, I was trying to buy the top or something like that. Like, we were seeing significant weakness on the top. And I've been trading this pair for such a long time, where I know exactly how this pair operates on a daily basis. I know exactly if it doesn't make a new high, then maybe the next day it's gonna make a new high, or maybe it takes a couple of days for the high to basically break. But for me, whenever I saw this pair, we were rejecting off the high several times, and we had divergence on most of the time frames. We were making lower highs. And I just, again, it's like an edge. You trade the pair so many times where exactly the weakness means that it's time for a reversal. And I saw the weakness. I saw that UJ, like how the candlesticks operated on the higher time frames and on the 50-minute chart, and the weakness and the low volatility, that I knew that eventually it was going to pop back down. So that's why I was really confident in this trade. So yeah, just 3R, almost 4R in total within that trade. So yeah, really freaking good trade setup. I'm really happy about it. Like I said again, my target will be at the 200 EMA right over here. That's going to be the target. So we'll see what we do here. I think eventually it's going to come back down today. I think it definitely has potential for more of a bearish move. I have my lock stop at break even, so again, I can't lose. I mean, not break even, but in profit, so I can't lose on a specific trade. So I'm chilling right now. It's still bearish right here. Looking at the 2 hour, we're bouncing off the 200 EMA, but we're still showing weakness right now. MACD and TDI is really beautiful right now too. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Seeing all those confirmations. And yeah, so eventually, I think potentially it's definitely going to go down toward my level right over here, which is about 4.5 R, so it's 1 R away. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do here. It could even move further down for sure. Like, I'm not, just because I have an initial take profit doesn't mean that it's gonna just basically stall at that level. It's just the most probable level that price action will probably just kind of stall, or kind of maybe reverse off that level. So it's the most probable level. So that's why I'm taking it. So yeah, I'm happy about it. We'll see what we do here. I'm gonna take about most of my size out, so probably 90% of my size at my take profit, and then keep at least 10% of my position sizing there, just in case it eventually breaks the 50 EMA and comes lower throughout the day. So yeah, really good trade. Like I said again, I think I'm up about 2%, a little bit more than 2% actually. Yeah, 2% actually. So 2% on closed profits already on UJ. I'm still roaming about about like 1% left. That's still roaming, so 1.7%. So yeah, we'll see what we do here. So I'm liking this trade. I think eventually it's going to come back down. Maybe, I think potentially, like, literally come back down here toward the end of the day. So I'll give you guys an update on that on the Instagram. But yeah, so that's UJ. We're watching that. Alright, so NASDAQ, it's trying. It's doing its thing. It's trying to continue back higher. But I think there's divergence forming, and there is. Like, again, you just know whenever price action is stalling like that. So there's divergence. Something's wrong with my indicators. I don't know why they're so big. Huh, strange. Okay, so but yeah, there's divergence off top. Come on, TDI. There's divergence off top, so I am expecting price action to maybe try reversing off the high right over here. So we'll see what we do here. It's gonna be potentially off a scalping entry too. And you can clearly see that it's forming kind of a little wedge right over here as well. I actually want to look at the NQ real quick just to see the volume.
Yeah, so I'm going to use 58 or so as an out here for this name, and I just bought some more Neo at the bottom there.
That's interesting.
Look at some of these 59 levels and just see if we can defend that a little
Very,
bit.
very interesting.
Did buy some more Neo there.
I wonder why, like, the NQ, which is the Nasdaq E-mini future, which I have the Nasdaq E-mini future chart right next to my screen right over here, and literally, like, it's uncorrelated, which is strange because, like, this is the Nasdaq E-mini future. Like, this is literally the thing that I trade on my future account, and the charts are not even low-key, like, one is, like, stalling right now, and this one is literally coming back up, so sketchy. I don't know why TradingView has that. That's actually not true, because I mean my future account is getting data from actual providers, and TradingView has like third-party providers. That's a scam. That's literally a scam. Like, this is the Nasdaq 100 E-mini future. This is literally the same thing that I have on my chart right now. NQ 321. Yeah, I don't even know. That's so strange. How, like, my charts are not even looking the same here. Like, you clearly see here, Nasdaq, come on. You can't even see it. Whatever. But yeah, it's a bit strange. I usually don't see that quite often. Okay, looks like we're trying to break out higher. We are breaking out higher right now. We'll see, we'll see. Again, I'm not looking for entries right now on the Nasdaq right now, so I'm just chilling. We're also styling off that level. Dow Jones looks like it came back down to 200 EMA, and it looks like it's trying to bounce back up now. S&P 500 looks like, we came down. We probably just hit the 2-hour 200 EMA, or we hit the 2-hour 21 EMA right here. And now we're bouncing back up.
Bitcoin right now is starting to go a little bit, so I think that's probably why you're going to see something here on Riot and Mara, some of those 45, 45.5, holding, I mean 45,005. Now 46.7 is looking to go higher there. That is BTC, so if you guys are in any of those names, good on you. I'm trying to get a little long here, ETHE, but I missed it. That's ETHE, that's the Ether.
I'm going to get some coffee. I didn't get time to make coffee, so I'm just going to order some coffee. Yeah, we're breaking out. Look at that breakout. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna go ahead and try FOMO. We're just trying to scalp it long. Yeah, I'm not gonna go ahead and try scalping it long, even if I see an entry. And that's just because I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that it's going up because it bounced off the 200 EMA. Like, it has to bounce off a significant in level. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So it is what it is. So I'm not gonna go ahead and chase it. I'm just gonna watch it. Um, I don't know. I feel like the Nasdaq right now, it's been choppy the last couple of days. So I'm just being really careful with it because anything can happen on the Nasdaq, and I'm just being really careful with it. Not really wanting to kind of get like, fucked, but because that does happen a lot. Um, it does happen a lot if you're not used to it, if you don't know how the Nasdaq plays out. So that's why I always tell everyone to back test a lot the Nasdaq, because again, like, the Nasdaq is volatile, guys. Like, it's literally the 100 stocks, tech stocks, and tech stocks like right now are really have a lot of momentum, and you could expect a lot of unambiguous things happening. So back test a lot. Don't trade Nasdaq just because you like, oh hey, everyone's trading the Nasdaq, it's cool. Back test it, guys, because it's a dangerous instrument. I've had days where like I've lost like $1,000. I mean, it's just 1%, so it's not a lot. But I did have days where Nasdaq has done really crazy moves. Back in like, I think 2 years ago, before I was like really a profitable trader, like I was trading the S&P 500 index, and like I lost like $1,000 like in just one flush trade, where it flushed all the way down on like the break, right? So on the market open, it flushed all the way down with insane momentum, and so I was selling it, and then it just bounced really freaking quickly, and it just bounced like literally, it bounced like literally 10% that day. It's unlucky for me. So but yeah, I mean, it's dangerous. Like, on that day I lost $1,000. I blew my account basically. So I was pissed. I was like, holy Jesus, like, come on. Like, the day that I traded the S&P 500 short, it just literally made a new like all-time high or whatever. So yeah, definitely be careful with that. You definitely don't want to be caught in that kind of bubble, because the Nasdaq is really, it's a monster instrument. All the indices are monster instruments because, again, those are the stock market indexes. So they get its data from indexes, so stock indexes. So definitely be careful with that. What's up, Euro? Yeah, good morning, bro. Nasdaq is just making new highs. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah, we gotta celebrate with those pin boots. Thank you, Rainey, as well, for that. So I'm wondering if we're getting a little bit exhausted on the long, but we'll look at some more names of running.
We're talking about some crypto names. Here goes Square. Again, guys, just had an alert about that pre-market high there, 260 and a quarter. Got taken out on some volume for Square. Back to positive.
Yeah, so for Square, I was still looking at this level, though. Wow. Okay. What? No. What? It was down to 250. Okay. Wow, that was a. There's so much we missed. Okay, but I like in this level still 263.
Oh, Russell's coming back down. That's interesting. It's actually very interesting seeing how the Russell's trying to come back down. 30, 500. Gold is making kind of a clutch kind of comeback from a very kind of breakout toward the downside. It's making like a comeback. So it's been about almost 3 green days today. So we'll see. We'll see what gold does eventually. Yeah, I assume that S&P 500 does a lot of false breakouts. So with this, like, on my system, I would go ahead and try buying it. But again, the S&P, it likes to kind of just it likes to basically like it's slow. Like, it likes to just be slow and do its thing. So I've seen that on the S&P 500 there's a lot of false breakouts. So it's slow where that false breakout could eventually help you get stopped out of break even, so you won't lose. But again, we shall see.
Waking that sleeping giant, as we like to say.
Yeah, oh, I love me some Nvidia. That's I remember hitting that buy through 100 and thought I was crazy. And then somewhere at 120, now 6. Okay, I don't know if you talked about this, Neil. I think you might have Brad Lockett. What's up to Brad? Okay, you've been watching us for 3 weeks. You turned 4,700 into 40, or sorry, 4,700. Yeah, hopefully you didn't do that. 700 into 4,500. Another win today on AUDR. You love us. Thank you. We love you guys too. Because the thing is, Neil, the more we talk about it, the more we can through it. It's just like you guys are the ones hitting the keys, man. I mean, it's just we're just trying to give you the ideas and teach you a little bit about risk management and whatnot. Just like here on this Palantir, like we accelerate these profits, and that's why we're now at 6 times our daily goal here. But we just keep on ripping to the high side.
Yeah,
Now we're going to use
Hasley.
I just think that if you guys continue, like look at this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Taking shorts off the Nasdaq, but again, I'm not trying to just short anything that I see. So I'm just gonna be really careful with it. But yeah, I mean, I am looking for shorts today. Like Nasdaq likes to do its thing. Like it doesn't happen over like a 1 hour or something like that. So it takes its time. So I'm just gonna basically just wait for it. S&P 500. I mean, S&P 500 has been kind of weak the last couple of, I guess, months. So that's not surprising. Dow 30, I know I'm seeing it weak. So, but again, anything can happen in the market. So it's always good to not be too inclined on kind of the direction out of it. Even though I'm looking for shorts, if I see like again a really good entry signal, and I know that in my head like, hey, it makes sense that it's going long and it's going to be a continuation, then yeah, I would go ahead. But for Nasdaq right now, it's been kind of just choppy last couple of days. So again, I'm less inclined on taking it long because I know that my kind of my systems will kind of perform a little bit kind of choppier in this type of kind of market right now. I wouldn't say that on the overall market, the market is kind of choppy, but on the last kind of 10 days, the market has been pretty choppy on the Nasdaq. So that's something to keep an eye on and just be beware of it. No scoop on the pre-workout low. No, I'm not taking no scoop, bro. I'm not even going to the gym today. Because I'm sore. I'm really freaking sore from the gym right now. So, I'm gonna take a day off. I'm still gonna run. I still gotta run. I gotta do PT. But today I'm supposed to do like deadlifts, like 350 deadlifts, but I'm not doing that because I'm pretty sore. Props to you on calling top of the Nasdaq, the last swing high. Yeah. It's just it's just basically getting an edge, just knowing exactly how the Nasdaq operates on a daily basis. All right, so right now we're gonna get in a call with one of our course members, see what he's doing, and if he has any questions. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are having a freaking awesome day. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We're still in our UJ trade short, so I mean that's actually the trade that's been making me money. So I'm actually fine if I don't take a trade today because I'm already up about 2.2% roaming overall, like almost 4% on like the days. So I'm just chilling right now. Let's see. So yeah, Nasdaq looks like it's still trying to make a high right now. So we'll see. Let's get the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, I mean we're literally almost at the all-time highs, I believe. So I mean it's really hard to kind of formulate shorts because again, look at this thing. It's literally at the all-time highs. So it's really kind of hard to again try shorting it when there's no like significant levels at the top. For me, how I do it and the ways that I do it is I'm looking for low volatility. I'm looking for candle formations. I'm looking at the TDI and liquid 50 confirmations as well. So those are like all the things that I'm looking for whenever I do that. So I'm just again, like it's hard to call off the top whenever there's no significant level on top. If there's a zone on top, then it is a little bit easier. But again, like it's just something that I have to be careful with, and overall in the long run, just because again I can get caught like basically on the bull run if I try taking it short. And second of all, like the short wouldn't be off a system. It wouldn't be off my particular kind of entry signal. It'll be kind of formulated off my own discretionary edge or discretionary kind of trading where I know exactly how kind of the Nasdaq operates on a daily basis. So also we're in a call right now with I believe George. George, how's it going?
Hello, Jace. How are you, man?
Pretty
All's
good.
well?
Pretty good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I've been testing the strategy for the past 2 days, actually, and I've got a bunch of questions.
Yes, no problem.
It
No
might
problem.
take some time, so maybe I'll post the most important ones.
Could you repeat that?
Well, I've been testing the strategy for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
And I've got a bunch of questions, but I don't know if I can ask them all at once because I have like 15 questions or more.
Yeah. So why not? Let's just answer a few questions right now on the live, and then after the live ends, we can finish off the other live questions that you have. So just give me some questions that you have right now.
Okay, so basically the most important maybe issue I faced since I first started the strategy was the watch list. So let's say you woke up and you want to start your trading day. How do you start it? So let's say, do you have a screener or do you have like something that tells you that today you should trade those specific pairs, or how do you do it basically?
So how I formulate. So are you currently an AceFX member?
Sorry?
Are you currently an AceFX member?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so for me, how I formulate my own watch list is I'm looking for pairs that are more probable toward a specific direction. All right. So if I look at, let's see if I can get like a specific pair. So let's just say I'm looking at Euro USD. So I wake up. All right. So what I'm gonna do, the first thing that I do is I'm looking for again the 50-minute chart. So I'm looking at the direction of the EMAs. Again, I'm looking for the direction of the TDI, which is the liquid 50, which is the yellow line right over here, and I'm also looking at the MACD. Fairly enough, like on the MACD, I want the MACD to be above the zero line, so above the buy zone. Once I see that, then I'm going to be looking for kind of buy. So I just noticed that I'm not sharing my screen, so let me share my screen real quick.
Yeah, I can see it. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking for basically buys. Just like if I'm looking for kind of like one specific direction, I'm looking for probabilities of one direction. So whether that's EMAs as well as TDI and MACD, I'm looking for all three of those. And then so what I do after that, once I see, okay, so Euro USD looks like for today it's kind of bullish. You know, EMAs could be definitely better, but it's been fairly bullish for today. So what I do specifically is then I scroll up to the higher time frame. So I go to the 1 hour. So I do a top down analysis basically. So I go to the 1 hour, right? Go to the 1 hour and let me just pull full screen. And I look at, okay, so what are we doing in the liquid 50? Yeah, liquid 50 is up in the buy zone, right? You know, we have the MACD right now. We're above the zero line, so that's, you know, that's a bullish sentiment. EMAs overall on the 1 hour chart, you could see that it's not like the 50-minute chart. It's not bullish like the higher time frame EMA. So you see that the 100 EMA is in the way, the 200 EMA was in the way, and the 50 EMA, since I guess you could say this, since from here you could see it is really bearish, but from currently right now you can see that the 50 EMA, which is the blue line, is starting to curl back up and come higher. So that's telling us kind of a bullish sentiment. The 1821 EMAs, which is the yellow line and the red line. So the 8 EMA is the yellow line and the 21 EMA is the red line. We're seeing that they're both, you know, again, like they had the upshift. So if you the upshift, yeah, right over here, so that you could see the upshift right there. So that's number one, a bullish sentiment. 50 EMA, they're both curling back up. 50 EMA is curling back up with both of those kind of two other EMAs. And then so the 200 EMA looks like it's starting to curl back up. So I mean I would still count that as a bearish sentiment. But you would say, okay, so what kind of EMA is against our direction? So you'll see that the 800 EMA is against your direction. It's in your kind of ADR, so which the ADR is the average daily range. So for me, if I was looking for longs, I would be really careful on trying to take a long right over here, because again, we know that the 800 EMA is a universal level, and it could literally it's something that you can't really expect off the level. Yeah, for sure, it can literally just come back down, and I mean come higher at the end of the day. But whenever you're trading toward that significant level, you can expect some choppiness. You can expect a rejection, because again, it's a universal level. Those are specific levels that other traders will look for, whether that's scalpers, day traders, swing traders, persistent traders. So that's something you definitely have to be really careful with. But fairly on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the 1821 EMAs are in the upshift. MACD and TDI are currently right now in the bullish sentiment. So if you go to the higher time frames, go to the 4 hour, you can see that the TDI and MACD. So MACD currently right now it's right now in the buy zone. TDI right now it's still like the liquid 50 is still in the sell zone, but the RSI and TL are in the buy zone right there. So what do we know about the RSI? If you guys are our course members, we know that the RSI and TL, or shorter period moving averages, getting actually my bad, the green line is the relative strength index. So that's the strength index, the overall strength of that specific time frame. And we know that the red line is a trade line, which is a smaller moving average, getting its data from the specific RSI, right? So we know that both of them, whenever both of them are up in the buy zone, that's giving us a bullish sentiment. So that's a bullish sentiment right there. Fairly almost a bullish sentiment on MACD. It was in the sell zone. It was below the zero line. It was in winter, basically. It went to fall, and now it's in summer mode right over here. And then you can see here that there's an upshift. So you can see that the 1821 EMAs went up on that for the upshift, right? So that's bullish. 50 EMA is bearish, 200 EMA is bearish, and the 800 EMA, I believe, it's in top. So that is actually kind of bullish, because it's it's kind of rising from right over here. So that's bullish. But again, so you can see how the 200 EMA is in the way actually right over here. So that's something where you definitely have to keep an eye on, because again, like that is a significant level, and you can see a rejection off that. So you can kind of see a correlation from the 4 hour 200 EMA and the 1 hour 800 EMA. They're both levels that you can see there. So those are both levels that you definitely have to keep an eye on, and know that, hey, price action can reject off that level. And then looking at the 1 daily chart, you're looking for, again, for the bias. So TDI is fairly, again, in the sell zone. So I mean, RSI and trade line is still in the sell zone. MACD it's in winter mode right now. So fairly, the TDI and MACD are both kind of telling us bearish, except for the liquid 50. Liquid 50 is still in the buy zone, but it is falling. So whenever it's falling like that, that is telling you that the momentum on the daily chart, it is kind of bearish. But again, we're not trying to look for swing trades whenever we're using our system. We're looking for scalps. So looking at kind of, it's good to not to be too focused on the higher time frames, on the overall bias, because again, we know that we're looking for shorter term indications of kind of our trend. So that would be the 8 and 21 EMA. So if the 8 and 21 EMA were bullish, that's telling us those are shorter period moving averages. So we know that that those are really good key indications for kind of a bullish sentiment for that specific kind of like day. Also looking at the trade line, if the trade line is above in the buy zone, that really is a good indication, because we know the trade line is it's like again like a shorter period moving average. So we know that it's giving us a shorter momentum, the shorter time frame momentum. So it's really good to have that confirmation on the daily chart, as well as the RSI confirmation, and of course the liquid 50. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically
Okay, so
how
once you enter a trade, how do you specify the take profit? So yesterday I went into approximately 4 trades. What happened is I couldn't tell where to put my take profit, and once the trade went into my direction, or the bias I wanted to go in, Uh, it reached 1 hour. Once it reached it, I was like, okay, so do I close 50% or what do I do? So usually in those steps, how do you get out of it?
So you close 50%. So if you read, do you have the trading plan that I it's in the course, right?
Yeah, of course, in the
So
word.
so yeah, on the trading plan it's 50% at 1 hour. It's always 50% at 1 hour. So your take profit for the scalping system, again, there's not really a take profit. Whenever you're scalping, there's not really a kind of
A target.
an all on target. I mean, there's kind of
Right.
you could say a point where you think it's gonna go, but there's not an overall target. So with my scalping system, since we're trading at levels for pullbacks and reversals and breakouts, we know that these moves can literally continue going up higher and higher and higher and higher. So for me, what we do is, if we don't have a take profit, we still take partials, or we move our stop loss into profit, like in the trading plan. So, whenever we're at 1 hour, we close 50% and we lock our stop at break even. And so our target will basically be until we get stopped out. It's gonna, like, because from back testing, from all the markups and everything like that, it doesn't really make sense to have a take profit, an overall take profit, when at these specific levels these things can go crazy. You could have really good movers where it literally goes like 20R, 10R, maybe on like futures or stocks and equities. You could find like huge insane moves, like maybe 10R, 20R, and 30R or whatever. So
True. True.
it's definitely something where, again, like, I'm taking my whole system as a fractal system to all the instruments. So it doesn't really make sense for me to have like an initial take profit at 2R, because again, it's not really a day trading system. It's more of a scalping system. You're getting in, you're getting out, you're closing profits, or you're moving your stop into partial, into basically your risk to reward level. So once you're at 2R in profit, you move your stop loss to 0.5R. If it's once it's 2.5R, you move your stop to 1R. So basically, once the more risk to reward that you get, you move your stop loss. That's one way of doing it. If you don't like to basically close profits, if you're not one of those people that likes closing profits early, then you could go ahead and do that. And so that I put that in the trading plan, because I know a lot of people, especially with ASFX, don't really like taking profits. They don't like really taking profits at 1R. They want to take profits at, like, 2R, 3R, 4R. So that's why I put that in the trading plan itself, for kind of a differential for the traders itself. But yeah.
Okay, perfect. Do you recommend any trading sessions? Let's say you trade usually the S session, not the Asian session, or which ones do you prefer more?
So,
In your opinion?
so again, in the trading plan, it says that, with this system in general, like, it's a scalping system. Whenever you're scalping in general, you want to trade the most liquid, the most volatile, or, I mean, I wouldn't say the most, like, extremely volatile, where it literally goes like 10 pips in a second. But I'm talking about, like, you know, very liquid, very volatile, like fairly volatile, with a lot of momentum. You want to trade something that's really liquid and, again, has a lot of volume in it. So I would recommend trading pairs at specific time periods where, there's the most volume and it's, the most kind of liquid. So that will be during the New York session and the London session, and sometimes the Asian session, whenever you're trading. Again, whenever you're trading JPY pairs. So USD JPY, Euro JPY, and JP JPY are both pairs that kind of work really well. They don't work really well in all types of markets. So in cold markets, during the Asian session, it's really hard to find really good entries, because, again, it's just choppy and it takes its time. Even if you do find an entry signal, it's going to be kind of just, again, it's going to be choppier. So it's really important to just trade very liquid instruments, right? You're not trading exotic instruments. Like, for example, I know some brokers on Euro NZD, even if you find an entry on that, some brokers will literally have its spreads being like freaking like 5 pips or whatever, and that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work with the scalping system. So I always recommend, like, a really good broker, and trading very liquid pairs and during liquid sessions, because that's how the scalping system operates. That's personally how I back tested this and back tested it and forward tested it, and I've seen great results from it. So just very liquid stuff, and yeah.
Sometimes you say try not to exceed, let's say, 10 or 15 trades per day. So when basically do you say to yourself, okay, so I'm done for today, this is good, and I'm gonna stop for today?
So I always have a daily goal. I think so. In my trading plan, it's a system trading plan. It's not a trader's trading plan, but in the future, maybe I'll just release a trader's plan layout. But it's always important to have like a specific manageable like goal, overall goal. So for me, it's 1% every day. So once I reach 1%, I'm out. I don't really have to be looking for the charts too much. Or if I lost 3 times in a row on really stupid trades, and I know that my emotions are in my head really like fucking me up. Like I know that I'm getting FOMO. I know that I'm trying to be aggressive. I know that I'm not being myself in trading. So
Yeah,
usually,
stop.
yeah, usually on that period, which I mean, come on, like scalping, it does happen. Like scalping is a skill that not everyone can do. It's a skill that's really highly rewarding, but it's a skill that again it's really hard for traders because of the psychology aspect. So you really have to be self-aware of when to like basically step out if you're losing or if you're not being yourself. So for me, it's 1% every day. Usually, if I don't find a trade within the first 2 or 3 hours, I'm usually done for the day. Like, I mean, I'm not really gonna be. I have stuff to do. I run my own fund and other businesses, so I'm not really trying to be, to the charts like 24/7, 24/7. So if I find a trade, or if I don't find a trade, then I'm usually just gonna head out. Sometimes I do look at the market, so maybe looking at the Nasdaq, because usually the Nasdaq does like good intraday or I mean good afternoon runs. So maybe I'll look at that. But overall, like I'm just gonna step out. But yeah, it's always good to have an overall goal. So whether that's 0.5% or 1%, whatever is manageable in your trading plan and your trading stats. If you're kind of like averaging about 10% every single month as a trader, then your overall goal should be about 0.5%, or at least 0.5% just to start. And once you're seeing good results, increase your overall gains to maybe 1%. And especially if it's a hot market, like if you're seeing really like everything is running, hot market, really volatile, then maybe increase it to 2% every day. All right, but that's something that you definitely have to. I wouldn't advise on increasing 2%, increasing past 1%, because again, you're gonna overtrade usually, and you're gonna go ahead and try. Emotions are going to be on top of you. So I wouldn't really recommend like going more than 1%, because again, 1% is manageable. Even 0.5% is really good. It's still manageable on a daily basis, even 0.25%. So you don't have to start big. You can always start small. Getting comfortable with the systems. Like I said again, on the actual trading plan for the system, what is something that I have to do on this particular system, right? What is something that before I start trading with live money, what do I need to do? And on the trading plan itself, I have to get comfortable first, right? You have to go into a demo account and trade it, on a demo account with like 50 trades that has consistent results, consistent risk to reward, and you're seeing consistent consistent execution R's. So that's something that I always recommend, and it's valid in every professional trading plan for a particular system, because again, you're not going to find overnight results on the system. The system does, you have to be comfortable with the overall setting. And for day traders going into scalping, it is something to get used to, because the psychology is a bit more kind of aggressive. Like you'll find it way more than if you're day trading on like the 15-minute chart or the 1-hour chart. Yeah, so that's that.
Actually, that's what's happening with me. I'm a day trader. Usually, I go into trades for like 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes 1 month. So this is the first time for me scalping and doing short time frame trades. So what happened yesterday is basically, I usually, once I open the computer, let's say I want to trade, I open, let's say, 18 pairs. Okay, 18 pairs, 2 indexes, some stocks, whatever. So I go over all the pairs, all the stocks, and I kind of screen all of them and put them aside. So that's my watch list for today. What happened yesterday is I was scalping. I put my pairs, I put my indexes, and I started watching. So I had around 12 trades aside, okay, or 12 potential trades, let's say. So what happened is I entered into one trade, then another trade gave me an opportunity. At the same time, I entered another trade. So I had some problems in managing, let's say, 2-3 trades at the same time, which is, I guess, for scalping is really bad. Maybe we should go into one trade in specific and not go into more than 2, 3, 4 trades at a time. What do you think?
Very rare. I mean, that's 100% right. I'm actually gonna probably try adding that into a trading plan as well. I'm gonna add that to a trading plan today probably. So yeah, I mean, like, you're not, like, for me, I never enter, very rarely will I enter more than one trade at once. Because again, like I'm not that type of trader that's like manage several trades at once, especially scalping trades. Those are trades that you have to be really attentive with. So again, like it's not it's not the most ideal point. So very rarely again will I trade more than one trade at a time. Sometimes if the market is really really hot, I will go ahead and maybe trade indice with a forex pair if I see a really good entries on both of them, or if I'm looking for kind of correlation efforts and I see entries on all the major indices, so the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, the Dow 30, I'll take smaller entries. Instead of going like really big on those entries like I usually will, like 1% or 2%, or whatever, I would basically scale down on my risk and then trade those four. So I wouldn't, I guess I wouldn't say I trade four indices at the same time. I think the max that I've ever done was 3. So I guess I would just scale down my risk, my overall my average risk, and then trade those 3 instruments at the same time. But at the same time, I'm risking less, and I'm being really really attentive. So that's something where I have to be looking at. Since I have like 4 screens in my setup, I can look at the Nasdaq, the S&P, and like the Dow 30 right over here. So I'm just like looking at it like very attentively. But yeah, I would only recommend doing it. I only would recommend doing it if you have like your experience and you have practice on doing that particular thing, maybe on like a demo account. But overall, I think that for your success, for every trader's success, it's always good to manage and just stick to one particular setup, because then you could kind of just nurture that, stock that, and see better results, in my opinion, if you were managing like 3 or 4 at once, and then you're not really attentive on one particular like scalping entry or setup or whatever, and you missed your you wasn't able to basically lock your stop at break even, and so the trade basically just reversed quickly and basically stopped you out. So you wasn't able to get close to 50% of your profits or lock your stop at break even. So again, I would 100% recommend just sticking to one specific trade setup.
Perfect. I guess that's the best way to manage it.
Oh yeah.
In scouting specific. There's one more thing that I face an issue with. Okay, so let's say I have a potential trade on M1, okay? And in one candle or so, it might give me the full confirmation. So I have on one PC or one screen, I have the, let's say, MT4 account. I have another screen, the trading view chart that I'm looking at. And on the third screen, I have me and my Forex or whatever calculator, position size calculator. So how do you manage to calculate the lot so fast? Let's usually say take 0.3% risk maximum per trade. So how do you calculate this risk fast and enter it on the account before having this fast movement? Because suddenly you can see that the RR suddenly grew by by 50% than it used to be. So that's the problem I face basically. It's taking me too much time to calculate the actual lots I want to go in, and actually going in with that number of stop loss and pips.
Yes. So number one, again, like it's practice. Like I've been trading for 4 years, so I know exactly. Like I've done it so many times on a daily basis. Like with Nasdaq, like the instruments, like it's 10 points, 20 points, how much I need to risk, how much lot size I have to risk for that. And then for Forex pips, 10 pips, one lot size, that's $100, right? So I just, in my mind, like I just, since I've been doing it for such a long time, I can do it in my head quite fast. But for the beginner trader, what I would recommend is see if you could find online a risk a chart and print it out, or just basically just doing it on your like making a chart yourself, where one lot size, 1 pip, how much is that? 2 lot size, 2 pips, 3 pips, 4 pips, 5 pips, 10 pips, 20 pips, 40 pips, how much risk is that for the dollar amount, and just basically putting a chart out and putting it in front of your trading desk. So whenever you're because usually in these scalping setups, you're not going to be risking 100 pips or 50 pips. You're going to be risking, I think, maximum
10, 15, 20 max, I guess.
Average 10 to 15 pips, but maximum, like I think like 30. Like even I haven't risked 30 pips in a long time, but maximum you're gonna be risking 30 pips. You know, which is still unusual. So for 10-15 pips for one lot size, you know, okay, that's about $150 for 15 pips, right? So I would 100% recommend, again, putting a chart out. One lot, two lots is $250 for 10 to 15 pips, right? Three lots, $350, 350. So I would 100% recommend, again, putting a chart up and putting it in front of your desk before, and then just reviewing it before you start trading it. So that can kind of go into your head as muscle memory, where, okay, one lot size is for 10 pips is $100, right? So two lot sizes for 10 pips is $200. So just being in your mind, just really, you know, getting that muscle memory and kind of memorizing that in your head, and then basically having that right next to you in your trading sessions. It's really going to help you a lot. And again, it's going to come with practice, but eventually, you know, you'll be able to just kind of calculate the math in your head, because it's muscle memory. You know, you do this every day, and you know exactly how much you need to risk. So that's your trade risk or whatever. And second of all, I use Magic Calculator. So I use this, which is you can get this online. Using the link in my bio. But so for the Magic Keys, this is called the Magic Keys. You could kind of just basically open this, and then just basically formulate, like, it gives you how much you need to risk, basically. So you have your everything, your pit, like whether that's Forex, like NASDAQ or whatever, or gold. You put your stop loss, like, okay, this is how much this is where my stop loss is going to be, and this is where my entry is going to be. And basically it just tells you, okay, I'm wanting to risk 1% of my trade, or 0.5%, or 1/4% on this specific setup. And then basically basically it calculates a lot size already for you, and then as well as it enters for you. So you know, you don't have to basically do any math. It just does it for you automatically, which, I mean, it's really a nice tool for people who really are just I guess lazy. I wouldn't call it, I don't know, just, I guess, like, who don't really want to calculate in their head really fast. So it's a really, I mean, it's a good tool. I use it. I mean, I haven't been using it the last couple, I guess, weeks, because I just do everything in my head really quickly, because I don't, for day trading I'll use this, but for scalping I'll just do it in my head really fast, unless it's like Forex. Sometimes whenever I'm scalping Forex, it takes its time. So you know, sometimes I'll do it on the Magic Keys, but yeah, I mean, it's a really great keyboard, a really great kind of tool, where you could kind of just basically, we know from our scalping system that you're risking about 0.30% per each trade. So you could put this in your calculator. Okay, the max that I'm risking is 0.30%, and then you could just basically put your stop loss really fast and enter it really fast. So I mean, it is a great tool. I mean, for me, I haven't really mastered it on, like, entering really fast, because I don't know, because I guess I'm not really as consistent at it. But you can kind of just, you know, use this tool and even try to, you know, just, I mean, it is possible. You could enter it as much as really fast as, you know, you are if you're like scalping it manually, because like the risk itself is automated already. So you have the risk automated. All you have to do is put exactly where the stop loss is, and then you enter automatically. So, and that can take literally about maximum
Maybe 3
5
seconds.
yeah 3 to 5 seconds, yeah, 3 to 5 seconds
sure.
maximum. Even 1 second, you could even do it at 1 second, because it's just really fast. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I would 100% recommend this tool. You can find a discount, I believe in the link in my bio. But yeah, I would 100% recommend doing that if that's something that, you know, you're interested in, for everyone watching in the live stream right now. But yeah, actually, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get my coffee outside.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, it's snowing outside for me, so it's really cold outside.
Oh, it's snowing?
Oh
Nice.
yeah, no, it's not nice. It's Oklahoma, so it's horrible. I mean, yesterday I was trying to get out to go to the gym, and it's just horrible. Really bad, dangerous roads here, but it is what it is.
And you do your military drills in the snow?
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they don't really care. They just,
Well,
you
good
know.
luck, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna suck in training, because I know that I'm going to Missouri, so that's literally the coldest place right now. It's like, I checked the weather, it's like -10 degrees. So I mean, I'm just feeling
Oh, shit.
I'm just feeling sorry for the people right now in that basic training, because they're just struggling. Like, you have to run, you have to do drills, you have to do like gun drills. Since I'm a combat engineer, I'm going to be doing a lot of work outside, so with explosives, with like formulating barriers and stuff like that. So it's gonna suck. I already know it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna try getting used to it, like try running outside to get used to the code or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You should, because the body should adapt to such changes, sudden changes in the weather and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely gotta get used to that.
By the way, there's one thing I've noticed in the live session yesterday. You used some, let's say, trends or support resistances along with the MAs and the TDI and the MACD. So when do you use them, and when do you not use them, basically? Because I've noticed in the, let's say, case studies, I know I'm telling something from the course, maybe I shouldn't, but I've
No,
noticed in the case studies,
you're fine.
they don't use much trends and support and resistances, or mainly just use them in the divergence with TDI and not more. So do you recommend introducing technical basics along with the strategy itself?
So what do you mean technical basics?
I mean, maybe patterns, rectangle zones, price zones.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah, for sure. I would, I mean, it's not something in my system where, we're getting, I guess we're getting its data directly from, like, for the industry, we need to have like that specific technical, I guess, analysis or technical tool or whatever. But it is always nice to kind of like, put out wedges, like, again, like if you see like a wedge, putting that out, or if you see a zone, just putting it out, like, okay, so it looks like price action
okay.
is like, rejecting right over here. You could say, okay, so it looks like price action is, maybe forming like a little wedge here, maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. It's doing its thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that, for sure, just to kind of just give you a better understanding of what price action is doing. But for the system, we're not actually really, I would say we're not actually really like taking those kind of technical tools or whatever, and
Okay.
using it as an entry signal. I mean, it could definitely be something for risk reward wise, where if you have a major zone, the higher time frames,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't really count on the 1 minute. Like the 1 minute is just one, but if you like in the 15 minute or the 1 hour, if you see like a really really significant level where price action has hit it 3 or 4 times, for me, I mark it really, excuse me, I mark it at a really significant level. If it's not broken, and if it's hit it 3 or 4 times, and it's rejected off it 3 or 4 times. So, and if it hasn't done that, then I would definitely keep that in mind. Where, like, okay, so for risk reward, right, for the risk reward wise, I know that I cannot get at least 2R toward that. So maybe I need to just
Oh,
step
okay.
back. I
Okay.
mean, but which I mean, fairly, it's I mean, you're scalping it, so it's really easy to get 2R because you're going into the 1 minute chart or whatever. But for some reason, if you can get 2R, then yeah, I would just recommend taking a step back into it. Eventually, price action breaks off that zone.
And take that trend. Yeah, true. Actually, there's one more thing regarding the 200 EMA and 800 EMA. So sometimes I notice that you go into the trade once price breaks the 8, 21, and 50 EMAs, knowing that, let's say you went into euro dollar buy since the price is above the 8, 21, and 50 EMA, okay? And let's say that the 200 EMA and the 800 EMA are above the price and kind of close. So I've noticed in some trades that you went into the trade knowing that the 200 EMA and 800 EMA are kind of close. So do you have something else to add regarding this subject? Like, when should we not enter this trade and when should we enter this trade? I don't know if you got a question.
I think I got a little bit. So you're asking basically, when to not enter the 200 EMA? Is that basically what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that, let's say the 200 EMA and 800 EMA are giving you a downward trend or bearish trend, okay? And the price breaks the 8, 21, and 50 EMA to a buy bias. So when do you recommend to enter the trade against the trend? Because sometimes it's happening, actually.
Yes. So For sure. So basically, again, it all comes to risk to reward. We know for the scalping system, if you have both confirmations, like if you have the entry signal confirmations, that you're looking for momentum. So from right over here on EuroCAD, you clearly see that, on that break right there, you can see momentum, like just clear momentum right there on that break. That's what we call a red to green move, where it just bounces right over here really strongly and flushes back up. So I would recommend, again, if there's enough risk to reward wise, if you can get at least 2R, or I mean for me, since I'm a more of aggressive trader, I get 1R. Like I'm an aggressive, where if there's 1R to that, I'll get it.
You want to take it,
Yeah, I'll take it. But for everyone else, until you become experienced with the system, I would just recommend just taking your time and waiting for the proper setup. So you want to get at least 2R. If there's 2R or close to 2R enough to the 200 EMA, then yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. But if it's like less than 1R, and it's overall in the downtrend, then I will be really careful with it until eventually. Like what we talked about in the course is what do EMAs like to do, right? EMAs like to trend, EMAs like to break out. So eventually, that falling 200 EMA, like it's just mathematics, where eventually, you have 18, 21, and 50 EMA rising, right? You have this, and this rising, and then you have the 200 EMA slightly falling, right? So eventually it's going to come back up, right? Because it's following the 50 period, the 21 period, and the 8 period. So eventually, it is going to go up if you're going to see a reversal off that level. So basically, all you have to do is wait. Wait for that proper setup. So the 200 EMA will basically overlap the 50, the 200, the 50, the 21, and 8 EMA. So you'll see that it overlaps right over here, right? So all the EMAs are overlapping, and then you eventually know that, okay, so from that overlapping, we know that EMAs like to break out, EMAs like to trend. So they're right now, they're in this kind of a range, right? They're in this range box where, it's trying to break out. So you just have to basically wait. Once they're all together, then you can kind of execute it, because, the 200 EMA is actually not in the way. So you can execute a really good risk reward, TDI confirmation, MACD confirmation. So if there's not enough risk reward toward a 200 EMA, it's just good to just take a step back and just wait for it, basically, and not take it right away.
Okay, and sometimes, let's say the TDI is bearish, okay? The MACD is bullish, the EMAs are below the price, we have a breakout, and we have a buy opportunity. The liquid 50 is in a bearish mode as well, so the TDI basically did not give our confirmation. However, have, let's say, a break of 3 EMAs at the same time. So when do you recommend that we enter such a trade and disregard one of the confirmations, or should we not do that anytime soon?
Okay, so it all comes to, again, probabilities, right? So you're looking for probabilities, and it's always about probabilities in trading. So if you're not seeing, like, if you have some confirmations, but it's really good, the breakout's really good, it's really good counter formation, a red to green move, you're seeing a lot of like momentum on that, and TDI, or and confirmation. And then that the higher time frames from your top-down analysis that you did on the previous day or on the morning, that from your top-down analysis that this specific pair or this specific instrument, it's really bullish. It has a really good incline on making new highs or making new higher lows or whatever. And it's very probable. Like on the higher time frames, the 1821 EMAs are bullish. We have no divergence. We have that the MACD and TDI on the 1 hour and the 1821 EMAs on the 1 hour fairly bullish. And on the 30-minute as well, I would recommend looking at the 30-minute as well. Then I would recommend taking it. But for the beginner trader, maybe just wait it out, because it's not always like it's hard to kind of just I guess it takes a little experience, I would say. But for me, like, I'm just talking about from how I would look at it. If it's really probable, like, that you did the market screening, you did the filter system, the top-down analysis, and that the market is hot. So I'm actually making a presentation right now. So I'm actually gonna do the whole layout of the course. So I'm gonna go over the checklist. I'm gonna go over how to look for entries and everything that we talked about in this live stream. and then as well as looking at the standard deviation indicator, which
Exactly.
is
Yeah, I've seen that.
which
I've
is
seen
an
that.
indicator that we use a lot. That I use a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say I use a lot. I use it's something that I formulate my market screening, and I know when exactly it's a hot market or a cold market, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, if it's in a hot market, then obviously like I can get away with taking like entries with not a lot of confirmations. I'm still putting myself in risk. Keep that in mind because I'm not
Sure.
going fully on edge where you from like the actual systems edge where everything's there's like all those confirmations, but you can get away with it for sure if it's a really good breakout, if it's a really good counter formation, if the 8021 EMAs are in the upshift, if it's a really good red or green move, if it's coming off a really significant level with divergence, like obviously, yeah, you're gonna go ahead. So right over here with your cat, that's literally like as you were saying, you see the TDI has a confirmation, right? And then you have the MACD. There's no confirmation on it into summer. It's still
Sure.
above the zero line, right? It's still
Yep.
above the zero line, and it's still like it's you could call this the buy zone. But right now it's in fall, so right now the MACD is fall. I mean, the MACD is like stalling right now, so it's in fall right now. It's in current fall mode. Eventually, it does come back up. It does eventually come back up higher,
Mm.
right? Um, but like that could be something where again, just getting confirmation. So from here, that looking at this, this is the first level right over here. Um, so you can see like a continuous trend. So you can see the first level right over. This is the first level. You can see like a level right over here, a level right over here. A level right over here. This is another level, right? Another
Don't
level.
you consider this as a bit choppy or no? Or you consider it's above the 50 level, so I'm
No,
fine,
because
I'm good.
it's still coming from levels, right? So you're looking, so it's all about levels too. So you're looking at, like the leg up, the leg down, or whatever. So especially looking at the
Mm.
higher time frame. So it's still coming from a level. If this was the primary level, then I would be a little bit skeptic about it. But it's coming from levels, so it's coming from here, right? First leg up right over here, comes down, bounces, comes back up, bounces, and comes
Yeah.
back up. It's all about levels. So this will be, it's the whole system. It's operated on the levels on the smaller time frames and taking it as levels. So level one, level two, level three, just taking it off those levels and identifying those levels and knowing that there's a very high probable chance that price action is going to bounce. So what we're going to do is we're going to formulate a risk box, or we're going to formulate an entry signal off
Enough. Yeah.
divergence, or risk box, engulfing candle, or whatever. So we know those are really high probable kind of moves because it's coming off a really significant level, which is the 800 EMA, and
Mm.
it's making already higher lows, higher highs, and etc. So again, it's really high probable. Like we know in Europe, this is actually a really good example. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this up today. But for that level two, if you took that, this is a level two because it's currently in the upshift and it bounced off the 21 EMA, and
Yeah.
the engulfing candle, I mean the engulfing formation right over here, it's beautiful. You can see that's a really beautiful engulfing
Actually, it's
formation.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. So this is in your CAD today that you could have taken it, right? So,
Yeah.
goes all the way up and it gives you about 11 execution R. So what in the trading plan itself, what I state is level twos give you really good risk reward because your entries are going to be quite small, right? They're going to be really small
Mm.
off that. So,
Sure.
you can get really good risk reward off level twos. So yeah, I mean, like for this level two, you got about 11 R, which is really really good. And then for the level, this is the level one reset because it's not the primary level one. It gave you about 7.3 R, which is fairly good. This is your cat today. It's not yesterday. This is
Sure.
today. So you could have caught this today, and this is just this trade. So you could literally like caught. Actually, I'm gonna make this a case study today because this is a really good really good kind of just a lot of setups today on your CAD. So you can see here another formation here. You could take that here, and then you could take it as a level two. Formally about right over here. You could take this as a level two. Or, let me put this right over here. Like maybe put it as a wrist box right over here
Mm.
for information right over here. You can see the bullish engulfing formation. He finally bounced back down, so that's whenever you know that, okay, so there's divergence now, so it's coming into level 3, right? So it's divergence. So that's something, whenever the RSI is falling like that, that's something where you have to be careful with your entries, because you know that it could be choppy and it could be rejected. But eventually you can see that it just bounced off the 50 right over here. So it bounced off that 50 right over here and then continued going higher. So, but you know, this specific one give you about 4R. Coming back down on later on the day, you could find, you know, entries right over here. This is an entry right over here. So
You take some entries using the 8 and 21 EMA sometimes, only like breakouts or bounces.
Could you repeat that?
Do you usually use just, or sometimes use the 8 EMA and 21 EMA for bounces or breakouts, or only the 50, 200, 800?
I don't really. So for level 2s, if I'm trading a level 2, you know, I'm looking for that bounce of the 21 EMA. Only whenever we're in the upshift. So that's the only time I would take it off the 21 EMA, because you know, it's in the uptrend. It's in the upshift. So it's currently in the upshift. So that'll be only time whenever I'll be taking it off the 21 EMA. On level 3s, I would maybe take it off the 21 EMA if there's no reset. If there hasn't been no reset on the 80 and 21 EMAs, and it's coming into level 3, into divergence, that's what we call level 3 into divergence, then I'm gonna be skeptic on I mean, first of all, I very rarely trade level 3s unless we're in a really hot market and it's a really high probable, like it's a high probable kind of direction. I would very trade level 3s, but I'll take it off the 21 EMA if it's a level 3, and if there's no, like, if there's no reset on the 80 and 21 EMAs.
Okay. Well, basically that's it. Thank you so much. I took a lot of your time. I hope that the watchers also benefit from my questions as well.
Yeah, no problem, man. So hopefully you're having a freaking awesome day.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good day, bro. And let me know if you have any other questions. All right?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right, awesome, bro.
Thanks
Have a good day.
Same to you. Bye bye.
All right. Awesome dude. He's one of our course members, like I said again. So shout out to him, and get the course bundle. You know, we have a lot of freaking, like, just a lot of stuff coming up with the course. I'm still working on some stuff. I'm actually gonna show you guys. So I'm working on this. Actually, I already finished it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do like a PowerPoint for you guys. So standard deviation. Yeah, you can see the flashcard right over here. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of stuff that's coming for the course. So I'm really excited about that. I'm still updating it because I'm always about providing value to my traders. Just a lot, you know, even though it's cheap, it's $250 with over like 6 hours of content, with good content, like, in my opinion. You know, it's pretty good. You know, you'll see like most courses only give you like 1 hour or 2 hours, and then they charge you like $500. But I'm not like that. I'm all about providing value to kind of my traders. Like, I'm all about value. I'm not really here to make money. Because I mean, I don't even make a lot of money from courses. Like, dude, I make $1,000 on average on each specific, like, big, like, I guess you could say, day trade. So I mean, like, I don't really need to chase anything. So yeah, it looks like Nasdaq right now it's trying to come back down. So it's interesting how we saw that breakout off that level. Very interesting. Looks like we could have some divergence here. Yeah, we have some divergence on top right now. Very interesting. So currently, we are still in UJ right now. If we go to this, but your cal, if you guys are in the course, this is a really good pair today that you could look at pairs, and like even if you took. Even if you took like the level 2, you still would have gone in more than 2R, 280R, right? Because this is a really small candle, and you still would have gotten about more than 1R, literally 2R, 280R off this level 1, right? So I mean, like, this is really good. This is a really good example today. Like, you know, trading level scalping. This is a very good example of level trading, mechanical level scalping system on your CAD today. So gonna make a case study about that today. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, looks like UJ is still coming back down. My voice looks like it's trying to die down. But we have your USAJPY coming back down. We're almost, yeah, we're currently up around about 3R right now. So let's see if it eventually comes down. There is bullish divergence, so I may just go ahead and close some profits right now. A little bit more profits. Yeah, let's just go ahead and close some, just in case there's that bullish divergence comes back up and breaks toward the 50. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna go in at 0. I mean, we're really close to our take profit level. We're about 0.5% away, 1/4% away, 26 pips away. So I mean, it makes sense to close out initially, you know, some of our profits, because we are really close. So there's no point on we knowing from this entry, right? I mean, from the signal right over here, from this tool, we know that it is a very big possibility that I could break off that 50 and come back up. So for me, there's no point on risking about, literally, like I'm risking about, I'm risking about like 2.5R. I'm risking about 2.5R to make just an additional about maybe less than half, maybe less than 1R. So it doesn't make sense. That's literally all about systems. Like this is called a Xeno stop, right? So it's a Xeno stop where, you know, if you're risking about, if your lock is stopped at break even or into like maybe half a R, and you're really close to your initial take profit where it's like about 1R away, it just doesn't make any sense that you're risking 2.5R right now, 2.5 roaming R, just to make an addition maybe half an R or 1R. Like the risk to reward rise, you're risking 2.5R to make 1R. Doesn't make sense, right? Does not make sense at all. So that's what we call a Xeno stop in the professional community, the professional system community, and whatever, where you know you will close out majority of your profits at that risk reward level, at that specific risk reward level, because it just doesn't, you're close enough and it doesn't make sense risking 2.5R to make just an additional 1R when you know that eventually there's a good probability that it could just literally bounce back up and stop you out. All right, so we closed about 70% right now. So if it breaks off the 21 EMA and close off the 50, I'm just gonna close the rest right there. But we'll see. We're still we still have 30% left in it. So I'm cool. I'm up about 3% on that overall trade. So I mean, yeah, really good trade for that specific. It's just a freaking awesome trade. You know, it's just having an edge on that specific on your specific pair, on a specific pattern. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's stream, to be honest. Like, I'm not looking for like too much today. CAD. Nasdaq 100 looks like it's trying to come back down right now. Interesting to see what we do here. Russell 2000 is choppy today. Dow 30, a bit choppy today as well. S&P 500 choppy. You can see that it tried to do like a false breakout, and I mean it tried to do a breakout right over here, but failed. So it looks like it's choppy right now. So choppy day, definitely something you have to be careful with. Overall, I haven't taken any like day trades on Nasdaq or anything like that. My only trades is UJ. I mean, which is pretty good. I'm cool with just not trading today, and just closing my profits on USAJPY. Again, we're up about 3% for the day. So it's Tuesday and we're up 3%. That's pretty good for me in my eyes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call it a day for right now. Maybe we'll take a short off the Nasdaq. We'll see. I'm not gonna go ahead and try rushing into anything or get FOMO with it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that stream. I know it's kind of a long stream, but enjoy that stream with our course member, George. So if you guys are interested in buying the course bundle itself, I would highly recommend it. Link in the description. Go ahead and get that out for you guys. I mean, it's pretty cheap. I mean, for 6 hours of content with a Discord, and just me updating it literally almost weekly and adding more information, more data for you guys to learn on it. the value is like literally, guys, it's too much value. I'm not even charging per month. The course is not per month. If I really wanted to make money, I'll literally like charge you $200 per month or whatever. But I'm not doing that, right? So, because I'm not about that. I'm not like a freaking marketer or a course sellout guru or whatever. Like, you could see like my main plan with the course is to find traders, profitable traders, and basically funding these profitable traders and working closely with them within my fund. So yeah, I'm not all about that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Find out if you guys have any questions with the course bundle. Just direct message me on Instagram or email me. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. And I'm calling it a day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next live stream. All right. So peace out. Y'all have an awesome freaking day. And I'll see you guys later.